Welcome to the Well Child Show. Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Well Child Show, brought to you by Global Child Health and Safety Initiative. Today on the show we're looking at a very critical topic, and we're dealing with teenagers and goal setting. I have a very special and I'll say the very right resource person to help us do justice to this topic. So stay tuned and we'll be with you after this quick break. Don't go away. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, it's the Well Child Show, brought to you by Global Child Health and Safety Initiative. My name is Kemak Onyenuchea, and I'm glad as always that you're spending your day with us. On the show today, we're looking at teenagers and goal setting. And I have a very special guest who is very dear to me. She actually is my little cousin, and I think she is in the best position to do justice to this topic, because I have watched her over the years grow into the woman that she has become, taking deliberate steps every day of her life to achieve the aims and the goals that she set for herself. I'm not going to tell you so much. I'll just introduce her and allow her the honor of sharing of her own personal experience that certainly I'm sure would help the parents, our viewers today, help your teenagers set goals that will result in an enriching and fulfilling life. So joining me today is my dear cousin, Ambassador Joy Ndidi Chukwu. She is an author as well as a life coach, and she holds leadership positions in the youth ministry of her church. That's the Redeemed Christian Church of God. You're welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me here. I'm really honored to be here.
Right.
And to everyone listening, because I believe that we all have something to offer the world. And so when we get this stage, we do not take it for granted.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And of course, this has been a long time coming. For about 4 weeks now, we've been looking at having you.
Yes, going
so thankfully, it's finally happened.
Yes.
So you're welcome to the program.
Thank
so
you.
Today, of course, as you can see, I have my notes, right? I'm ready to take lots of notes, because I know you have a wealth of experience, first-hand experience. And just before the show, we were talking about theoretical knowledge and actually practical experience that makes all the difference. So let's not jump the gun. Can you, from your own, tell us a bit about yourself? Let's start from there.
Okay. I grew up in a family of 6.
Right.
And then we lost our father early in life. But then I watched my mother take up the role of both being a father and a mother, and she took this role with every sense of responsibility, dedication, tenacity. And I saw the fact that we can achieve anything we want in life if we set our mind to it and not allow circumstances and situations to weigh us down. That is not something anybody plans for. Even these days, when they tell us, write your will, we're always like, no, I cover myself with the blood of Jesus. Right? I'm not going to die. But then it happens. And she, not having to plan all this, stood up to the responsibility, mourning her husband, being conscious of her children, and then setting out to do something. And today we are glad of the kind of people we have turned out to be because of that. So seeing her do that alone gave me this insight that I don't have to allow anything to stop me from reaching wherever I want to get to in life. And anything can happen, everything can go so. But then focus and perspective can help us to reach that destination that we are supposed to, that God has planned for everyone to be. Nobody is a nobody. Everybody is somebody.
Right.
But we all have the ways we approach life and seize every opportunity, take chances. You know, we have people in our life that God will put in our life. Apart from my mother, I have my cousins, my wonderful cousins. I had people I met. One of the people are my boss in the office, Pastor Deo Kuno. You know, he gave me advice. I shared one with you that really helped me in life. So there are always resources around us. It's if we are conscious enough to take up these sources and be conscious about it, be deliberate about it, and not take anything or anybody for granted, that we'll get to where we need to get to in life and not, you know, lose out on the way or fall off just like that. Yes, there will be mistakes. Yes, there will be everything. But then that deadly focus and the perspective is very, very important. You know, we hear of half full and half empty. And you don't expect the person that keeps saying half empty to make as much headway as the one that sees half full. So your perspective matters a lot. And that was something I learned as I grow. And then with the people I'm surrounded by, I also ensure I learn from them. Because there is, beyond the class, we have what we call learning by observation.
That's the physical classroom?
Yes, beyond the classroom. There's what we call learning by observation. So you watch people, how they are able to achieve what they are achieving, how they are doing, how they live their everyday life. And then you adopt one or two things, not copying now, adopting their style. And that is why you see children raised up in good home, but they end up doing something else. It is where they are focused on. It is the perspective they choose to, you know, harness the life from. And so when you look at it from the right perspective, there are always people there to direct you, to lead you, even if they don't come to tell you. You're watching them, you're learning, and you're making a headway.
Wow, wonderful. Okay, now you've mentioned, I've taken notes about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 really key points that you mentioned, and I want us to break it down. So from your own life experience, we're going to address this issue from the angle of helping parents to understand how they can apply these principles, these pillars, so to speak, in helping their teenagers make informed decisions. Because of course, you know, the teenage years are very critical in the life of an individual. There's so much uncertainty, there's a lot of confusion,
exploration,
it's
trying this,
exactly,
trying
and there are so many different conflicting options, right? Now you talked about focus, you talked about perspective, you mentioned mentorship, and then resources available to people, and you also keyed into relationships, and then you also talked about mistakes. And I know before the show we had mentioned something about, you know, everyone making mistakes, and parents helping their children not just to acknowledge but to own their mistakes. Okay, maybe we should start from there.
Okay.
Like looking at it from the angle of a teenage years, and we're trying to help parents understand how, you know, the uncertainties of the teenage life can lead their teens to making wrong choices. How can parents help their teenagers own those mistakes they've made, and how can they turn it around? Okay.
One thing parents should understand is that the life they lead daily, they live, is more important than what they tell their children.
Right.
And so children are drawn more to what they see you do than what they hear you say. Anybody can say anything. When you make a mistake, you own it. You say, okay, this is what I've been able to learn from it. I was discussing something with you. I was like, every parent say, I took first in the class.
Right.
You know, I came second. So who came last? Do you get? You want to ask that question, who came last? Now, if you come last and you're able to say, this is where I came last, this is what I think I did, then you're directing your child not to make the same mistake. But whereby you cover up everything, even when that child is failing, he will feel that that is the end.
Wow.
I can't go ahead.
Like there's
no
hope beyond the failure.
No hope beyond failure. My mother didn't fail. My daddy never failed.
Deep.
So let me just give up. I see young people entering, depression mood.
Right.
Yes,
and even suicide.
Committing suicide.